This is Mood.Camera, but I'm just going to call it Mood. It's a film emulation camera app that I've been using and thinking about for over a year. It was designed and built by Alex Fox on 4 guiding principles, which are: produce characterful photos, provide a joyful experience, reset the digital photography mindset, and be straightforward to use. I'll let Alex explain more himself.
Really, it's for people who are kind of bored of that sharpened, over-processed look of an iPhone photo. Like, I've taken a photo, I can edit it in permutations of a million different ways. When do I stop and when do I just enjoy the photo I've taken? Using Mood.Camera, you sacrifice that control, but in return, you just get to enjoy the pictures you've taken as they are, and you might get some unexpected results, some out-of-focus bits, a bit of more grain than you expected, but like, I've found by accepting that, in a way, it's like I enjoy those photos more and I take more photos is probably the key thing here.
Hearing Alex lay all of that out, it really intrigued me because I wasn't shooting to simply enjoy the results anymore. I was always shooting for something, like a commercial project, a review, a tutorial. Even when I was out leisurely strolling in a place like this, say, with my wife, I'd be taking photos, but not for us, for memories. It'd be for a comparison or a lens I was testing. I didn't want to be like that anymore. So I was excited to try Mood. I already liked the film style. I edit in that style anyway. And I was hoping it would help me switch off from that raw content factory mindset and remind me of why I love photography and started doing it back in the 90s and early 2000s. Let's start with the film emulations themselves, part of Alex's characterful photos principle. They're easily the best I've seen. And I say that not as a film connoisseur, but as someone who has used film apps before and ditched them because they went the quantity over quality route, where out of 100 options, 1 or 2 might look half decent. Moods is by far more streamlined and thoughtful. Each emulation deserves its place, and one of the reasons they look so good is because they're not merely filters. Mood uses its own pipeline. Halation, for example, is applied using a HDR gain map to precisely target highlights rather than rely on luminance. Really cool stuff, and this level of care and detail hasn't just gone into the film emulations, it's gone into the entire app. The settings are film inspired and encourage you to shoot with intention. There's even a no chimping mode to stop you constantly reviewing shots as you would with digital photography. Mood also scolds you for attempting to save the original. I think the best example of this is the selection screen. This thing is a work of art. Emulations are beautifully presented, and as you scroll through them, Alex has included reference photos with a pop-up description to help you choose. You've got customization options with their own descriptions, and notice how everything updates as you go through them. Plus, everything is fully explained in this interactive guide. This is a top-tier user interface and user experience, which is part of Alex's straightforward-to-use principle, and he has nailed it. You can even hide the emulations you don't use and rearrange the list, which is really useful if you've got a few favorites or regularly use the same ones, as you can quickly swipe between them in the viewfinder. And speaking of the viewfinder, there's some really cool stuff here too, but probably the most noteworthy is what's not here. There's no live preview of your results. The viewfinder image looks like any other, and you only get to see your results afterwards. This is Alex's joyful experience principle, which is that each shot should carry an element of anticipation and surprise, echoing the experience of a film camera. This sense of mystery and excitement is something that has been largely lost in the era of digital gratification. I appreciate where Alex is coming from, but this is an aspect of Mood that I didn't find joyful. Because even though there are visual examples and written descriptions, sometimes my results didn't turn out the way I thought they were going to. And standing there changing emulations and settings until I found something that I liked was the thing that I wanted to avoid. But I never thought Alex should change this approach. You see, a lot of camera apps are just soulless collections of settings, gimmicks, trends, and all that, without a core identity. So I love the fact that Alex has built Mood around a guiding set of principles and he sticks to it. So in order to enjoy Mood and its results, I needed to change my approach. Now, the main problem was I hadn't taken the time to familiarize myself with all the emulations. I took for granted just how effortlessly brilliant and nice they all look on the selection screens. I didn't take the time or effort into learning them, and as Alex said I would, I got some unexpected results. More so than I'd like. Unexpected and me, we don't go well together when it comes to photography. I'm not after perfect results, don't get me wrong. I shoot in RAW, and iPhone RAW files are far from perfect. But what I do like is intention. Even though I shoot in RAW, with manual settings, I know what I'm going to get. I can shoot with confidence because I've taken the time and effort over a good few years now to actually learn it. So I made my own emulations. Custom emulations, or presets as they're actually called, take Mood to a completely new level. Like the rest of Mood, the creation interface is gorgeous. It's really easy to use and you can save, test and tweak to your heart's content. Plus there are loads of fantastic presets on Mood's subreddit and on Mood's presets Instagram for inspiration. I did what any great artist does and I took from others. I went to Mood's subreddit, found a nice one on there. I took one from Alex himself, from Mood's Instagram. I did make my own based on my photographs from the 90s, and I made a black and white one. As soon as I created these presets and I familiarized myself with them, my success rate with Mood jumped up to almost 1-to-1, meaning that I was happy with almost every photo that I took, which was a massive improvement. So I was shooting a lot happier with a lot more confidence, and therefore I was enjoying Mood a lot more as well and taking more photos. However, this is an area that I would like to see a bit more fleshed out with things like HSL for individual color channels, because as much as I like my 90s preset, it doesn't actually look like the photos it was based on, because I can't quite match the colors like the reds and the greens. While Alex has introduced some major updates to Mood over the past year, such as portrait mode and custom presets themselves, I doubt I will get my HSL update because Alex doesn't want Mood to have too much choice and complexity and overwhelm people. Wants it to be nice and simple. HSL, not that simple, but I think it is. So how about this? You can unlock HSL if you know what it stands for. Sound fair? Think about it. So it took over a year and almost 2,000 photos, but I got there in the end with Mood.Camera, and I rediscovered the simple pleasure of photography. Now when I'm out and about, or to be honest with you, when the cat does anything, Mood comes out, quick snap, and I'm confident I've got a characterful photo that I'm going to want to remember. So if you don't like the iPhone look and you don't want the hassle of editing RAW files, Mood is definitely worth a look. There's a 1-week free trial you can take advantage of, and then after that, there's a $14.99 one-time purchase or a $1.99 a month subscription, which I think is great value. Not only because Mood is a great app, you're also paying a principled independent developer who builds Mood in his spare time, and he does so because he genuinely wants to make a difference to people. Seriously, bless him. But you know what? Whether Mood ended up being for me or not, when developers like Alex come along, I want to support them, obviously while still being honest and objective, because it doesn't help anybody if I'm not. Because developers like Alex are a net positive for the iPhone photography ecosystem, the iPhone camera app ecosystem, and for iPhone photography as a whole. Because if Alex succeeds, Mood might not be for you, but you never know what he's going to build next. And it encourages others to get into the game in a similar way with premium, thoughtful, and principled design, rather than just making some lazy, half-arsed copy and paste app that doesn't offer anything different. This is Alex's joyful experience.